This is our home on wheels, a medium wheelbase Volkswagen Crafter with a high roof. It's 6 metres long, 2.8 metres high, and filled with everything we need, plus a fair bit of dog hair. We're about to set off on a 9-month adventure in this little box on wheels, so let me show you around, starting inside. So we're starting our tour in the front of the van. As you might be able to see straight away, we don't have a bulkhead, and we took out the double passenger seat that came as standard in the Volkswagen Crafter and replaced both seats with 2 swivelling Skoda Karoq chairs. And the reason for not having a bulkhead and not having a double passenger seat is because it does give you this walkway into the van. So when it's a dreadful day, like it normally is in the UK, although the weather is proving me wrong by being nice and sunny, it means that you don't have to get out the van and then walk around and get in the other door. And it especially makes it so much easier with the dog, so it helps us get Lucy prepared before we set out on any walks, because we just go straight in the back, get her on the lead, and then just go out the door. So much easier than having a bulkhead in the way. It's also really handy not having a bulkhead, because we've had it in the past where we've not locked the drawers in properly, and so I've had to run into the back of the van when we've been, driving off the estate or something, and had to, quickly shut all the doors and make sure we don't have stuff flying out everywhere. So definitely something to consider if you're a wee bit forgetful like we can be. And I also really like having this because it means that we can swivel the chairs and then have them integrated as part of the living area as well. So Hayden's chair swivels as well, but we do have Lucy's dog for it in a way, which means that even if we do swivel, there's not going to be much leg room. But if I show you the rest of how it all looks, you can see you got Lucy's dog crate, which we've also made into a bench seat at the top. And then we've obviously got the swivel seat in place there. And then what we can do is we can take this tabletop and pop it on the bar there and set up a little table for eating and working and what have you. How's it going, Spud? You having a good day? You having a good day? So now we're coming on to my favourite area of the van, the kitchen. So we have done a van build once before, and it was quite a small kitchen, and we used just kind of standard kitchen cabinets, just from like B&Q or something. So the height of the worktop was really low down, so quite uncomfortable for like especially Hayden's height to actually do anything with it. Like, I mean, maybe that was just his excuse for not really wanting to wash the dishes, but the kitchen we've got in this one is a lot better. So if I swivel you can see we've got a fridge, which actually has a freezer in, which is such an improvement on the last one because we didn't have that. And then we've got our 2 hob burner. Oh, look how cinematic it looks in the light. Amazing. And then we have spice rack, which is just got a pepper grinder in at the moment. And then messy sink. And we actually got our cupboard installed at this height so that we could have a bit of extra worktop space, because if you think if you're using a sink, then that's really not enough worktop space, I don't think, compared to what I'm used to at home anyway. So this next part of the van build is definitely the most controversial. I'm in a van life group, so know that it's controversial, and I've had enough concerned questions from friends and family to know that it's controversial. And you may have guessed, but it is the bathroom situation. So as I pivot round, you may notice that nothing in here really looks big enough to house a shower or a toilet for you to have a bit of privacy. And that is because our toilet lives in here. Beautiful! And here she is in all her glory, our amazing toilet, proudly sitting right in the middle of our van. Because, let's be honest, what could be more romantic than sitting on the toilet and making eye contact with the one that you love? I can't think of anything, to be honest. So you can sit on the loo, you can be part of the conversation with whoever's on the bench, or you can, make eye contact with whoever's in the passenger seat. You can always do a bit of cooking if you fancy. And then if you're on this seat, you can just be like, "Hey girl, how you doing? Is it going okay?" show concern. I mean, all jokes aside, the reality is that the cassette toilet doesn't really get that much use. A lot of the time we will be using campsites, so we're not really going to have that fun situation going on very often. And speaking of showers, actually, we don't want to have one in here. The shower units actually take up quite a lot of space, and then you have to deal with having an extractor fan on them, so you can deal with the build-up of humidity in the van, and it's a lot of effort, to be honest with you. As I say, we are going to be in campsites quite a lot, so we'll get showers there. If we're wild camping, we've got solar showers. I can wash up in the sink. It's, we'll be able to make it work. Okay, the next part of the van build was unintentional, and you may have heard it a few times in the clips already, but it is a squeaky floorboard. There's no getting rid of it, so it's going to irritate us for 9 whole months, but we're going to live with it. We're going to fight through it. It's going to be great. So the next part is the bed. This is a lifting bed. I'm not going to show you how it lifts because that means I have to unmake the bed. But in essence, it would lift up like that. So you can walk down through like the little kind of garage area that we've going on there, which can't see us needing to walk down it very often. As you can tell, it is a very tall bed, which means that I have a beautiful colour coordinated step stool that I use to climb up onto the bed. So I'm going to show you that now. So got my step stool all set up, and then it's basically a hop, a skip, and a jump to make it onto the bed. Here's Lucy demonstrating how comfy the bed is. So we actually did put side pods in, which you can see by this black outline here, and that just kind of extends the width. Yeah, the width there. The width of the van, because Hayden is 6'2", so he kind of wants to be able to lie somewhat comfortably in bed. And they have been like really good so far. And also Lucy enjoys like sticking her head out of them and like keeping an eye on the world, so it's great for everyone. We've gone to great lengths with the rest of the van too. We added all new vinyl decals to give it a bit of personality, and our Wandering Woodward logos make sure you'll always spot us on the road. We also gave the engine a much needed remap because, let's be honest, it needed a little extra oomph for those mountain roads. We have new alloys because if we're spending 9 months in this van, it might as well look good doing it. And we added an awning, which is already proving itself useful for a bit of shade. This little box on wheels is about to take us on a 9-month adventure, and we can't wait to hit the road.